What's the worst pain you have ever felt? Number 1. Finding out my fiancé was killed in an auto accident. Number 2. Random uterine pain in the middle of the night, hurt so badly I puked on myself and screamed for my parents. They didn't hear me, so I laid there in tears for about 30 minutes and then it suddenly went away. Doctors never found anything and to this day I'm afraid it could strike again. Number 3. My worst pain was when I snapped my collarbone in half. It didn't even hurt very bad right after, but it was extremely painful after the surgery. I had to put it back together. I honestly don't even know how to describe that kind of pain, to be honest. I didn't feel it most of the time because they gave me Oxycontin, but it would wear off in the middle of the night, which was absolutely awful. Edit. I also have cluster headaches that I get every once in a while randomly that hurt like a bee, but my collarbone is still probably worse. Number 4. Once when I was a kid, I woke up in the middle of the night because my right hand felt like it was on fire. All the muscles were sporadically contracting and my hand plus wrist were bright red with small white patches. T tried to wake my friend who was spending the night, but she didn't wake up despite the fact that I was sobbing from the pain. I couldn't wake my mother either, because I couldn't shake her awake with only one functional hand. I had to treat it myself, and not knowing what to do, I tried to submerge my hand in cold water, which did not help much, and then applied LCY hot while massaging the muscles, which made it so much worse. The pain gradually disappeared after an hour of continually massaging, flexing, and relaxing the muscles. By then, it was 56 am and I was completely exhausted, so I went back to bed with LCY hot still on the majority of my wrist and forearm. It's never happened since then, and to be honest, when I remember it, I wonder if it actually happened or if the entire experience was just a horribly realistic nightmare, despite knowing that I woke up later that morning with that greasy menthol rub all over my arm, and that my mom was pissed that I left the container open on the counter. Number 5. This one year, I was lonely round the year. Everyone who used to talk to me would be teased, and friends drifted apart. That was painful as hell. Number 6. I went to the emergency room with extreme abdominal pains, was admitted and was getting ready to be released after a day or so. The doctor walked into the room and I was standing in front of him, still having pains, when my intestines burst. It was worse than any pain I have ever felt in my life. I think I passed out at one point as they were trying to get me from the floor to the bed. Don't ignore pains that are continuous, thinking they will go away. I could have died from it if L would have been at home when it burst. Number 7. Stepping on a Lego. Number 8. I had my first back surgery at 15. I had a bad reaction to the anesthetic and vomited for 7 days straight. The IV line fell out, so they didn't have a way to give me pain medicine post-surgery. I couldn't keep anything down and anti-nausea meds didn't work. I essentially went through a week of vomiting, tearing my stitches and having a 12-inch wound in my back without medication. On the 5th day a man came to make a cast of my body to wear to support my back for 6 months. When it was dry it didn't fit anymore because I had started to keep small amounts down and had gained back the water weight I lost. This man used his knee in my lower back to try to force the straps around my body right at my surgery site. I saw hazy red and black, broke out in a sweat, started vomiting and couldn't breathe. That was the worst pain of my life. I don't recommend back surgery without any medication and then an asshole kneeing you in the surgery site to lace a plaster corset. Number 9. When I was about 18 I was in a motorcycle accident without a helmet, and I broke my maxilla, the bone right below the eyeball. I was in exaggerating pain, but nobody cared about me because I had no physical damage. Turns out I was hospitalized for 2 months and I have titanium plates in my face now. Had that pain for almost 7 to 8 hours before the doctors gave me pain meds. Number 10. Burned my entire right arm and hand with hot coals. Not awesome. Number 11. This is the most confusing thing, but I got ran over on the road. I kept calm so it didn't hurt, or I got over it fast. My foot was bad but was definitely going to get better. Before they stitched up my foot they put on a anti-hurt medicine, forgot the name, and I just about jumped off the bed from the pain. Number 12. Period pains. I know a lot of women complain about them a lot, but for each person it generally changes. I physically cannot walk because of the pain, and I can't sleep it off because it's impossible to fall asleep. I've thrown up so many times because of it. Painkillers don't work. The worst is when you're at social event or job or school and you get a really bad wave of pain, but you just have to tough it out because it isn't a valid reason to leave. A school nurse M or F will just apologize and tell you to go back to class. Number 13. My friend playing with a knife messed up and stabbed me in the leg. Number 14. Physical was probably something dental. I had a filling put in my back molar, and the day after my insurance ended the molar cracked and broke in half while I was chewing gum. Had to go to some sort sketchy guy who installed the crown and definitely didn't numb the area when he adhered the crown to my jaw. Number 15. Hearing my mom scream "help me" my name while my drunk alcoholic father was trying to murder her. Number 16. Kidney stone, not passing it but it moving from my kidney to my bladder. Second worst was the pain inside my head from being blown up. It was like 1,000 fire ants marching inside my skull for days after it happened. Number 17. Getting stitches put in my forehead without any painkiller, at 6 years old. Number 18. Tearing apart my artwork I made for my girlfriend that took 30+ hours to make, after she told me L was not worth her time and insulting me.